What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. In case you are new to this channel, kindly remember to subscribe, like, share and also comment. So guys, I want us to watch this video from Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim Traoré, he's sending a warning message to Jamaican Prime Minister and also all the Caribbean and African leaders, especially those leaders who they are puppet, those leaders who they are a sellout leaders. Ibrahim Traoré, he is sending a warning message to them to change because black people revolution, it is coming. We are ending imperialism. So kindly guys, watch this message from Ibrahim Traoré till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
Bonjour à tous.
Hello everyone. I would like to welcome all the young people from the 13 regions who are in the room and those who have not been able to access the room. To all the young people from Africa, to accompany the youth, welcome to the land of integral men. I would like to pay a vibrant tribute to our strong security and defense forces who fight day and night for Burkina Faso to be and remain beautiful. I would like us to take a minute to pray for those who are on the ground and also for the rest of the souls of those who have fallen for our country. Thank you. Thank you. Let us give thanks to God for allowing us to be here today to celebrate the International Youth Day in good health. I say this very often because human beings often forget God when they have no problem, when they are in happiness. But when worries come, this is when we remember God. Give thanks every day for the breath of life and for health. Youth from Burkina Faso, youth from Africa, youth, this phase of life where we have enough strength, enough energy, like the paraphrase, the slammer that has just passed. Youth is the time when we have spent enough time. We must take advantage of the time we have been given. Use the energy necessary to reach our goals, to change the world, to change our world, to change the world of others positively. Children want to grow up to be young. Older people want to grow up to be young. Everyone wants to be young. Youth is a blessing. So take advantage of youth to do useful work. This is why when I see in the chosen theme, the first two words that come to mind, integration, security. Africa faces many challenges, and we must ask ourselves questions. Is youth an asset or a handicap for the development of nations? The answer is simple and unequivocal, and you know it. Developed countries mostly have an aging population, and currently many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their populations. Africa has this chance to have a very young population. But why is Africa not developed? We must therefore look at the question of why Africa has a young population and why it is not developed, and why developed countries seek to rejuvenate their populations. We must transform our youth into a real asset and engine of development for our continent. To do this, we need integration. We need security and development. We need to unite. You will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists, but what is the effect of the African Union? We cannot talk about integration and not talk about the African Union, because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see this war that persists on the African continent, that kills millions of young people, and that this organization, which has the head of state provided with an army, cannot organize itself to support certain countries. The Union is not just a word, the Union is a symbol. And we young people should learn from this situation to unite us to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which is the seat of the African Union, experienced a conflict, and when the Prime Minister announced to close the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see the action of the African Union to protect this seat. Western states, for the most part, saw Addis Ababa fall, fold their backpacks, and leave. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and lives more or less in peace today. The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the strength and all the strategies necessary to support its states so that they can find peace. We will not even talk about us here in the Sahel. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the scene of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a foreign country in Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated in a cowardly, terrorist, and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference of a foreign state in Africa in the internal affairs of our states. I would like them to hear this shout and get out of their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union. We must unite. The only way to unite is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to be able to establish the basis of this unity. Young people, let me tell you that to unite, there are three words, three big screws that we must ban from our behavior and our lives. I am talking about cowardice, treachery, and incompetence. We must ban these three words from our way of life. I am going to explain why. Cowardice covers many screws. A coward is always afraid. And when we are afraid, we become slaves. We bend. We lick our boots. Our ancestors were not cowardly. And if we are cowardly, our children will ask us questions. Imagine that in Burkina Faso we refuse to fight and we accept to submit, to live in slavery. Tomorrow our children will grow up and they will ask themselves questions. Have our parents been cowardly to leave us in slavery? Whether we are alive or dead, we will feel it. Cowardice is afraid, and the imperialists have understood that they are trying to scare the leaders so that they become cowards. Because when you are a coward, all the other screws can be born. We do everything so that we are afraid. They come to our palaces, they threaten us directly or with veiled threats. Of course, we respond as it is necessary. They try to make us understand. They take examples every time. They tell us, you know, Thomas Sankara tried to do this, but he is dead. President Haitian tried to do this, but he is dead. Gaddafi tried to do this, but he is dead. These are words that we take in a veiled way to scare us. And we often see some young people trying to take our path in a different way. We can hear them say, such and such person ruled like this, he is in his country. Such and such person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us so that we become cowards. But I think they didn't understand one thing. When we say country or death, we win. It's not just a sentence. It's not just a sentence. It all makes sense. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid.
Ils ont fait peur sûrement à beaucoup de chefs d'État africains.
They probably scared a lot of African heads of state. They probably scared a lot of African heads of state. You see, often when we express ourselves or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad, we often say something to call on African heads of state to wake up and take care of our youth so that we can start our real development. So that we can start our real development. We are often misunderstood. Some have publicly opposed us. Some have publicly opposed us because they feel indexed. But I can assure you, youth, that when we find ourselves in the corridors, these same heads of state tell us that we are on the right track and that this is what needs to be done so that Africa can rise again. So we ask them questions like, why don't you do like us? Why don't you support us? Some tell us that they have the means, and some tell us that they can't. Dear elders, African heads of state, at the end of this podium, I would like to say that African peoples are the most peaceful. That African peoples are the most peaceful. When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the people. When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the people. We are not afraid to come out and tell the people we are sorry. We have been compromised. We have been mistreated, we have been compromised by several things, and we ask for forgiveness, and we come back on the right path and to start working really for the independence of our states and our emancipation. And I think it is possible. If we remain in this posture of fear, we will be cowardly and history will judge us. Our children will ask questions, our grandchildren will ask questions. We are writing history. There is no place for cowardice. If our ancestors had been cowardly, we would not be here. Do you remember? I will give you an example of the people of Bamileke and Bassa. I want to talk about the Cameroonians, the union of the population of Cameroon. which since the 1950s has started a relentless fight against the Poles, but they have been massacred. The French colonial armies, in turn, have dispatched infantry battalions, tanks, helicopters, have annihilated anti-village. The most inhuman tortures have taken place during this period. You can do research on what they call the cart or the Bakasima. Hundreds of thousands of people have been decimated in Africa because they dared to ask their settlers to leave their land. A civil war that lasted several years. That is to say that people dared to face the imperialists with their bare hands so that we could be here. There is no reason why we cannot face the imperialists so that our future generations can live. There are many examples throughout Africa of brave men who refused to be cowardly, who fought, who faced. Well, let us be worthy of these people. We are their descendants, and let us be worthy of them. A coward cannot be worthy. Let us not be cowards, young Africans, because a coward is always a traitor. And it goes hand in hand. They will try to frighten us so that we become cowards. And if we are cowards, we will betray. We must ban the treachery of our habits. Africans have been traitors so that the slave trade succeeds in Africa. It is because Africans have been traitors that colonization has been able to sustain in Africa. Let us question history. We will see. Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba, was betrayed because he dared to hold his head. And these same beautiful televisions came to the Congo for a few bids extended to individuals in the Congo for an interview to please their population. And you were able to follow that. Lumumba bothered us. He is dead. We are happy. It is treachery. Many other heroes have fallen so that we are here today. And it is a technique of imperialism to frighten others by taking action to really create terror. It has not started today. I will give you the example of a warrior who fought, Victor Biakaboda. Read it and you will understand. He came from a family of chiefs. No chiefdom given by the colonizer. He was a worthy child. He studied in Senegal, I believe. He became a doctor in Guinea. And when the RDA was created, he went to the Ivory Coast region to fight against imperialists, against invaders, against the colonizer. He tried to organize the Ivorian society. Everywhere, people began to speak up. There was a general in his time, Pichu, who massacred the Ivorian population so that this spirit of freedom could never germinate. He continued his fight alongside F.A.O.R.C.E.C. Lix Uffe-Boigny. They fought, but the most violent was Victor Biakaboda. He represented a threat to the imperialists. What did he do? In addition to massacring the people who demonstrated, one night they killed him in an atrocious way next to Bois-Flancy. A few hours later, when the people of Dimbakro heard the murder, they marched, they demonstrated. They were massacred by the colonial army. History was killed. The facts are there. After his death, which scared FOC Lix Uffe-Boigny, they called him and told him, if you continue the fight, you will meet the same fate. He was afraid and he joined imperialism. He was appointed minister in France and later he came to take the reins of the Ivorian Accord. They used him to eliminate many other people who dared to raise their voices. I think Thomas Sankara is a good example. If you are afraid, you will be cowardly and you will be a traitor. Never be afraid. The fight must continue. There are many other examples around the world. And there is this phenomenon that they have also used for a long time and that they continue to use. You see, some individuals, for example, have found themselves in other countries and created a so-called parallel government to the Malian government. You have heard this story. It is a technique that has existed for a long time. I will give you the example of Ahmed Chalabi, Iraq. This math teacher, who was even in the Iraqi government, was recaptured by the imperialists, and he formed this semblance of parallel government in Iraq, in the United States. And he was used to be the sheep of sacrifice, because it was to him that it was said that Saddam Hussein was developing weapons of mass destruction, and he did it. They used him, and this Talibi was used to kill millions of children in Iraq and destroy Iraq. And do you know what was the fate of Chalabi? One evening after an interview, he said that he knew that the CIA was on his back. A few hours later, he was found dead in his bed, dead of a heart attack. If you betray, you will have macabre endings. That's how it is. Imperialism has no friends. Imperialism uses you. And when it finishes using you, it does what it wants with you. Follow my gaze. You understand what I'm talking about. It has always been like this. The third vice that I invite you to leave is incompetence. I'm coming back to the word of the Islamist who walked on my tongue. Incompetence. You understand what I'm talking about. Incompetence is a very dangerous phenomenon that they use to destroy African society. In our administrations, there is a lot of incompetence. Let's recognize it. Incompetence have a lot of space next to imperialism. Because incompetence can take over the development of a country. Incompetence can lead you to doubt yourself. Incompetents love ease. Incompetents love everything for themselves. Incompetents don't like those who are competent. They don't like those who innovate, those who seek. Incompetents are dangerous. When you are enlightened, incompetents don't like you. When you want to innovate, incompetents don't like you. Incompetents only recognize those who are competent, and they will fight him until his last breath. Because he is afraid of those who are competent. Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge and work. Work hard to be competent. Ban incompetence. Because through distractions that we want to make us adopt, we become incompetent. I'll give you an example. Social networks are the places where information is published today. People are informed through the internet. A young man who publishes an article on his farm, or an agricultural project or a scientific project may not have 1,000 views. But a young man who publishes on futility has millions of views.
Ce que moi j'appelle du n'importe quoi.
As the young slammer said, we want to waste your time on futility.
Justement, comme disait
Be
le
aware.
slammer,
Let's
on peut
focus
faire
on
perdre
work
du temps
and
dans
seek
la
knowledge.
futilité.
Let's seek
Prenez
competence.
conscience. Intéressons-nous au travail.
It's good to be
Cherchons la
distracted,
connaissance.
but we must work first before being distracted. Seek knowledge, otherwise you'll waste your
Donc, on
time
va
doing
travailler
nothing.
d'abord, avant de se distraire. Cherchez la connaissance, sinon vous perdrez du temps à ne rien faire. Et la jeunesse,
Youth is the time when you must use your time wisely.
il faut exploiter son temps à bon escient. Les impérialistes le savent.
The imperialists know this.
Ils vont multiplier tout ce qui est événement de distraction. Ils vont multiplier tout ce qui est
That's why they multiply all events of distraction.
travail, pour que vous soyez des incompétents.
They multiply all events that can distract you from work so that you become incompetent. When you fall asleep, you choose the incompetent to lead the important structures. You have no choice but to fold. Let's not be incompetent. Let's seek knowledge.
Les incompétents se cachent souvent derrière des mots.
Incompetents often hide behind words. They use the terms democracy and freedom without realizing what they mean.
Camarades, la démocratie est un état
Democracy is a state of mind as much as youth is a state of mind.
Ces soi-disant démocrates,
Whether you're a Democrat or not,
comment est-ce qu'on peut
how can you impose democracy by killing millions of people?
C'est de la dictature, ça, ce n'est pas de la démocratie. Ça ne
It's a
s'impose pas.
dictatorship, not democracy. You can't impose it.
Ceux-là qui se disent démocrates, mais regardez, nous avons
Those who
vu
call
des
themselves
scènes
Democrats
où on a
have
empêché
seen
des gens de
scenes
rentrer
where
dans des
people were
assemblées.
prevented from joining
On a vu des
assemblies.
scènes où des forces ont débarqué dans des assemblées pour obliger
We've seen
les
scenes
députés
where
à prendre
forces
des
landed in
textes.
assemblies to force deputies to take texts.
Plus terrible que ça.
We've seen more terrible scenes where people kill their demonstrators. But they call themselves Democrats, and we're called Perseus.
Si c'est ça la démocratie, je répète.
If that's democracy, I repeat, we don't want this democracy.
Et quand vous voyez souvent les incompétents,
And when you see
ils ne
incompetence,
cherchent pas à savoir quelle est la signification du
they
mot
don't seek to
démocratie
know
en
what the
réalité.
real meaning of the word
Ils s'accrochent
democracy
juste
is.
à la définition qu'il lui a donnée l'impérialisme et il se met
They cling to the definition given to them by imperialism and start talking about democracy without really knowing the basics. That's incompetence.
Regardez le monde pour redéfinir la
You have to know,
démocratie que nous le voulons.
look at the world to redefine democracy as we want it in Africa.
Les incompétents se cachent derrière les libertés.
Incompetence hides behind freedom. Remember, there is no individual freedom. It's a fact.
C'est un fait.
Do you really think everyone is
Pensez
free?
vraiment que chacun est
Freedom is collective. As long as we live in a society with
Tant
rules,
que nous vivons dans
freedom
une
is
société
collective.
avec des règles, la liberté est collective. Parce que si vous ne respectez pas les règles,
Because if you don't respect the rules, you can't live in society.
si vous êtes libre de parler comme
If you're
vous
free
voulez,
to speak as you please, the other is free to answer as he
de vous
pleases.
répondre comme il veut,
That would be disorder.
ça sera du désordre. Si vous êtes libre de
If
rouler
you're
dans la
free to
rue et
walk
de
the
passer
streets
le
and
feu
pass
rouge
traffic
comme vous voulez,
lights as you
l'autre est
please,
libre de passer aussi et de vous cogner.
the other is free to pass by and
Vous
hit you.
comprenez que si
You understand that if
la liberté
individual
individuelle
freedom
prend le
takes
dessus,
over,
nous sommes
we are in a
dans une société
society of
désordre.
disorder.
Voilà pourquoi il y a des règles dans la société.
That's
Les
why
règles,
there are
tout le monde
rules
doit
in
les
society,
respecter. Et là, on parle de liberté collective.
and everyone has to respect the
Donc,
rules.
certains se donnent le droit de parler de leur liberté individuelle.
That's why we're talking about collective freedom. Some people have the right to speak about their individual freedom, but they don't care about others. I think that's also part of incompetence,
Ils s'arrogent les droits que peut-être les États les ont donnés.
because they don't try to understand. They make up the rights given by the states to serve and do everything for themselves, neglecting the freedom of others.
On pense à la liberté d'autrui.
No, freedom is collective. Before we act, we think about the freedom of others, and we shouldn't transcend the freedom of others. So we need to have a reserve. And once we have a reserve, individual freedom doesn't exist. Freedom is collective, and we need to have this culture of collective freedom.
Cherchons donc la connaissance, lisons.
So let's seek knowledge, let's read, let's interrogate history. Don't read the history they wrote in their favor.
Cherchez la connaissance à travers plusieurs sources et vous comprendrez.
Seek knowledge through several sources, and you will understand in history who fought for Africa, how we must fight to continue this struggle of our ancestors.
Et je ne terminerai pas mes propos sans faire.
And I won't finish my words without making a statement about communication.
Parce que comme je le dis, c'est l'arme fatale de l'impérialisme. Et vous jeunes,
Because as I said, it's the fatal weapon of
pour
imperialism.
savoir distinguer le vrai du faux.
And you young people, you must do everything to distinguish the true from the false. We will continue to dismantle the lies of imperialist media that always try to create problems in Africa.
Par leur bouche, ils peuvent vous rendre un roi demain.
Because these media, through their mouths, can make you a king tomorrow. Through their mouths, they can make you leave your position as king and make you a poor slave tomorrow. Pay attention.
Je suivais une émission, malheureusement, il n'y a pas longtemps, burkinabé, où un jeune
I was following a program, unfortunately not long ago, in Burkina Faso, where a young journalist released a sentence that left me a little perplexed.
Il meurt de faim en Corée du Nord. A-t-il pris le soin d'aller en Corée du Nord enquêter pour voir vraiment s'il meurt de faim?
He was talking about North Korea, and the journalist said, but he is starving in North Korea. Has he taken care of going to North Korea to investigate to see if he is really starving? Since imperialist media have sold North Korea is more developed than many European countries. And because these media tell us that North Korea is a dictatorship, people are starving, they are poor, they have nothing, we take it here. But North Korea is a nuclear power. How did they do it? Let's pay attention to communication. We must not blindly follow these lying media that only try to divide Africa. It is logical. They fight for the interests of their people. And the interest of their people is that Africa is divided. So, young people of Burkina Faso, young people of Africa, we must unite. We must ban cowardice. We must ban incompetence. We must ban treachery and all the risks in our society. We have the opportunity to speak. We thank God for these opportunities that we have each time to speak, to raise awareness. And I invite you to spread the word, to get to work so that the Africa that we want, self-sufficient in terms of food, is a reality. So that the Africa that we want for harmonious development is a reality. Let me finish because I return to your theme. There is no peace and security without development. The two go hand in hand. If there is no development, there is no security. Because if there is no development, the youth will inevitably find themselves in the vice and there will be no security. If there is no security, there is no development. So the two must go hand in hand. Let's integrate this in our fights so that we can fight and develop. Let's go towards production. Let's produce enough. Let's transform our raw materials so that they are beneficial for our populations and in terms of exportation. I wish you a very good day of reflection on the chosen theme and also on the essential role of youth in this fight. Good luck to all. May God make sure that all those who have made the trip return home in good health and that we can meet again when we wish it by the grace of God. La patrie ou la mort. Thank you.
2007 Cricket World Cup, Jamaica, May 18th. the Australian, the Pakistani cricket team found their Australian coach dead. To this day, the investigation is inconclusive as to why Bob Woolmer died, or if he was murdered, or if he died as a result of suicide. To this day, we're not sure. And you're telling me that we don't have the capability of protecting an international cricket coach. We can't investigate and find out what went wrong. Yet you have Jamaica people who want Ibrahim Traoré to come to Jamaica. You telling me, say you feel confident, say Jamaica can host Ibrahim Traoré, or anywhere in the Caribbean at this point in time when France out to get him head? Only a few people know say France have an embassy out here. It won't surprise me if I don't know, you know. I don't know nothing. There is no way we can successfully host an African leader of that stature, that level of importance, and with that amount of danger surrounding him just now in the Caribbean. We're asking for trouble. So don't follow that one bag of mouth talk, all them people with them political agenda. They want to try to use this against Andrew Holness. The people who have sense, don't follow the either of them. If Africa is to rise, we cannot hope to put the leaders with the most potential in danger unnecessarily at this point in time. Listen, maybe it's a stretch to ask, but try think. Jamaica people, we know that kind of, I know how you lost that. But try. Not even Mark Golding would have want him out of. Me can tell you that. Eh? So not bother the bullshit. We appreciate Ibrahim Traoré from a distance for now. We are in the lion's den. We know that the imperialists them want we. We know that. Not play a fool. If our leadership, given whatever reason as to why him cannot come out here, just work with it, because I'm sure say if I did the other party, them not invite him here neither. If we want to see Africa rise, we should do our endeavor best to protect our leaders, to support them when necessary, but not make no fun, no encourage no false move, no foolishness, just for please, fool no ego. Eh? Big up Africa.
So guys, I hope you have watched and listened to that powerful message from Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim Traoré is sending a clear warning message to all Caribbean and African leaders, especially for those puppet and corrupt and sellout leaders, for those leaders who they are not working according to the will of the black people. Ibrahim Traoré is warning them, and also Ibrahim Traoré is exposing some of the things that the Western countries they have been doing to our black country. For me, I really love to tell the history of Ibrahim Traoré and telling people, especially our black people, some of the things that Ibrahim Traoré he has managed to do in his country, to whereby our other black leaders, they need to follow the footsteps of Ibrahim Traoré. First of all, Ibrahim Traoré, he has managed to kick out France, the colonizers in his country, to whereby I know up to date Jamaica, they were given fake independence. The head of state, you can see the head of state in Jamaica. It is still the colonizers. The colonizers, they are still running some major things in Jamaica, and that it is and because of that, I can tell you that Jamaica, they were given fake independence. Jamaica, they were given fake freedom, and up to date we are still seeing Jamaica. It is not growing because of the colonizers. If Jamaican Prime Minister or Jamaican government wants to build an hospital, they need to ask permission. If they want to build schools, they need to ask permission from the colonizers, because the colonizers, they're still the head in Jamaica. And for me, I can tell you that these are some of the things that Ibrahim Traoré is talking about. He's telling the Jamaican people to free themselves from the hands of the colonizers. They need to be fully independent. They need to be given full freedom, not a fake freedom. And that's why I've decided to send this message to Jamaican Prime Minister and all Jamaican people. And also, Ibrahim Traoré, he has managed to change some of the colonizers thing in his country. First of all, he has removed the France. The France, they were taking the gold of Burkina Faso. They were building their country with the gold, with the minerals of Burkina Faso. So when Ibrahim Traoré, he came out and see these people that are taking the gold, they're taking the minerals, and the people who are benefiting, it is not the people of Burkina Faso. It is the France people, it is the France citizen who they're benefiting from the gold and resources of France. So Ibrahim Traoré, he cut that deal, that they cut all that, and right now Ibrahim Traoré, they are the ones who are processing their gold, they are the ones who are selling their gold. So because of that, we have seen France, they are really hungry. They want to bring Ibrahim Traoré down to a point whereby France, they have gone to United States. They are now joining with the United States to try to assassinate Ibrahim Traoré. And also, Ibrahim Traoré has sent a special message, especially a warning message to all leaders to change, because revolution, it is coming. Ibrahim Traoré, he has really shown some of the leaders that they can really do without depending to this Western country. Yeah, Ibrahim Traoré has shown them that for a very short period that Ibrahim Traoré has been in powers, he has managed to achieve some of the things that other African and Caribbean leaders, they have not achieved. Right now, we can see in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, he has made education free, starting from primary to secondary level to university level. Ibrahim Traoré has made sure that educational, it is free. And also, Ibrahim Traoré, he has managed to make health accessible to all people. Right now, Ibrahim Traoré is building Burkina Faso, and he's building roads, he's building houses. Because of him building roads and houses, he has created more jobs to the people of Burkina Faso. And this is to tell you that these are some of the things that our leaders, they need exactly to do. And Ibrahim Traoré is showing other leaders to follow his footsteps. And also, we have seen all black people, how they are supporting Ibrahim Traoré. So it is a clear message that when we will having a good leaders, as black people, we are ready to support that leader. And this one, Ibrahim Traoré, he has shown the world that you need to do good thing and people will come out and support you. You saw what happened when France and United States threatened to arrest Ibrahim Traoré. All black people in the continent, they came together and they sent a warning message to France and United States not to try to touch Ibrahim Traoré, simply because Ibrahim Traoré, he has proved to us black people how the black leaders needs to work. And black people, we have really loved Ibrahim Traoré to a point whereby we are ready to protect Ibrahim Traoré. We are ready to die for Ibrahim Traoré, because these are some of the leaders that we really want. Because the Western people, they have been taking these kind of leaders down. You can see what happened to Mohammed Gaddafi, what happened to Thomas Sankara. So these are some of the leaders that the Western people, they have been taking down because of standing with the black people, because of standing with their country. Because these leaders, they were not a sellout leaders. These leaders, they were not a puppet leaders. These leaders, they were leaders who they were working according to the will of the people. So right now, they want to take Ibrahim Traoré down, because Ibrahim Traoré is really working. And also he's really showing and opening eyes to the other African leaders. And this is to tell you that Ibrahim Traoré, he has become a symbol of unity. He has become a leader, not a politician. He has become a leader whereby other leaders, they need to follow his footsteps. This to tell you that Ibrahim Traoré has become a role model to those other leaders. And that's why I want some of the Caribbean leaders to follow the footsteps of Ibrahim Traoré. And Ibrahim Traoré, he is not associate himself with those leaders who they are still corrupt, with those leaders who they are still puppet, because those leaders, Ibrahim Traoré usually tell them, you leaders, you need to wake up. You need, if you can't work according to the will of the people, if you can't rule your people how it's supposed to be, you need to step down. You need to give a chance to other leaders. And that's why I've been telling you that we need, right now, we have been, our African and some of the countries in the Caribbean, they have been having leaders who have stayed in power for more than 30 years, for more than 40 years, for more than 50 years. Those leaders who they have stayed in power and they have done nothing to their country, they need to step down. Ibrahim Traoré usually tell them, if you can't work, if you can't build your country, you need to step down. You need to allow other leaders who will do that to come and help you to build the country. So kindly guys, I don't want to talk too much. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.